on my way to go see Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man.
It's not Spider-Man
Homecoming.
3.
Yeah, Homecoming. And I have great expectations for this movie. Let me flip this way. I don't think it'll be bad. I think it'll be great. It's Marvel, Robert Downey Jr.'s in it, and what's the kid's name?
And any guy who can dance like Tom Holland, is that his name?
Yes, that's his name.
On that show with the lip sync battle, has got to be a good performer.
Exactly. So great expectations. I'm excited.
Woo!
I just hope the villain is good because Marvel has a thing about villains. Don't mess this up, Marvel. Who's the guy? Michael Keaton. I have faith in you.
Michael Keaton is an excellent actor.
He is. So I have faith in Michael Keaton for this villain. Hey everybody, Kirae Dynamite here, and today I'm going to be talking about Spider-Man Homecoming. And I'm just going to say that I absolutely love this movie. There was only like one or two things that had me like, I'm going to talk about the what? The awe and the wow. So I'm just gonna go ahead and head in with the awe. One of my favorite things about this movie is Tony and Peter's relationship. You can really tell that they have a connection and that Peter looks up to him. And you can tell that Tony is like, this is my chance to help someone else. If you're a Marvel fan, you know that Tony didn't really grow up. He knew his father, and as an audience we know that they loved each other, but his dad wasn't around that much, and we can see that Tony is doing that for someone else, being there for Peter, mentoring him, and it was just really heartfelt. There was a scene, and I'm just gonna spoilers, some spoilers, just to let you guys know. So there was this scene where Tony was reprimanding him, and he was like, give me the suit, and he was like, give you the suit? What? I can't. I'm nothing without the suit. Come on. And he's like, if you're nothing without the suit, then that's why you shouldn't have it. And I was like, listen to your dad, Peter. Listen to your dad. Another awe moment is seeing Happy. I love Happy. I love the banter that him and Tony have going back and forth. It's always fun to watch since the first Iron Man. So having Happy back and having Happy as Peter's babysitter was amazing, because he was always like, Peter, what's going on? He's like, hey Mr. Happy, I was just calling because I wanted to, check in. And it's kind of like Robert, it's kind of like Tony is his father figure, Peter, and then it's like Happy is Peter's like crazy uncle, like, gosh, Peter, what are you doing? So I love the family dynamic that's happening with those characters. At the end, Tony is like, so I want you to be a part of the Avengers. There's a bunch of reporters on the other side, and then he pushes this button, and then the wall opens up, and it's like shows like this bomb Spider-Man suit that I want to see so badly. And he's like, so just put it on, we're gonna go talk to the press. And then Peter is like, oh my god, like I'm about to be a part of the Avengers, this is crazy. And he's walking up to the suit, and then he turns around and he's like, I can't. He's like, I have a lot to learn about what's going on. And so he wants to be a kid, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So he leaves, and then what's funny is that Peter's leaving, and then he turns around, he's like, was this a test? And Tony's like, yep, it's a test, and you passed. Yep, So he leaves, and then Pepper Potts comes out, and I'm like, Pepper Potts comes out, and she's like, where is he? There's a bunch of reporters out there waiting to talk to him. And he's like, something came up. Tony's like, he's not here. So Tony's like, okay, we'll just do something else, so they're not even thinking about that. And so he's like, looks at Happy, and Happy pulls out a ring, and he's like, I've been holding this since 2008. And it was just so funny. I was like, oh. It was fun to see that they're back together, because I'm like, what's going on with this ship? You can tell Happy is like the biggest shipper of Pepper Potts and Tony. And oh my god, you guys think we'll get a wedding? Yeah? We have the Stan Lee cameo, and he's like, he's in one of the windows, and he's like, hey, what are you doing, kid? So it's always fun to just see his cameos, because why not? It's Stan Lee. He's how this whole thing started. I definitely want to talk about Donald Glover. It was great seeing him. He voices a Spider-Man character in the cartoons, and one of my hopes is that we will see him, like, maybe be some kind of superhero. I know that's probably asking for a lot, but I would actually really love to see that, and it was really cool seeing him in this movie. There was a really funny scene where Spider-Man is learning, like, all these new gadgets in his suit, and there's, like, he calls it Karen. Peter, would you like me to activate interrogation mode? He's like, sure. So he goes up to Donald Glover's character and he's like, where are the guys that I'm looking for, blah blah blah. And he was like, this isn't working. He's like, you need to practice. He takes the voice off and he's like, come on man, please help me out, I need to tell where these guys are. And Donald's like, okay. And then he tells him, and then he's like, all right, thanks. But he leaves Donald Glover's character stuck to the car, and he's like, hey, God, you need to come get me. I have ice cream in here. That was really funny. So I really hope to see Donald Glover in future movies, just because, you know, it's Donald Glover, and that would be awesome. I'm gonna go into the what? So there is a character, her name is Liz, and she is Peter's crush. And I didn't grow attached to her. I didn't feel like, oh, I like this character. She was like, this is what I saw in her character. Peter, like, this is decathlon, and I'm happy that you're here, and, you know, we're gonna win, Peter. Okay, let's go have fun, Peter. Come on. Like, Peter. And there was this scene where Peter was like, you know, it's kind of weird because, and they were standing right next to each other in this scene, so it was like super weird, but he was like, you know, because I like you. And she's like, I know. And he's like, what, you knew? And she's like, yeah, Peter. And he's like, oh, so will you go to homecoming with me? And she's like, yeah. So they go to homecoming, and she's just like, her whole character was weird, just a weird vibe, and I was like, I didn't ship it. Let's just say that. I was just like, I really don't care that much about the character, honestly. And then, like, she's a senior and he's a sophomore, so it was just weird. You know, when she's 29 and he's 27, who really cares? But when you're in high school, it's just like, and when you're younger, it's just like weird. In the end, when Peter, you know, defeats Vulture and Vulture gets arrested, her and her mom come to the school to gather her things because they're moving, and she's like, Peter goes up to her and he's like, hey, I'm sorry about homecoming, because he had to leave to go fight her dad, and just left her at the dance, and he's like, I'm really sorry. And she's like, yeah, it's whatever, Peter, I mean, I don't know, like, what's going on with you? And then she's like, well, whatever's going on with you, Peter, I hope you figure it out. The last scene we see of her is saying, I hope you figure it out, and then she runs off with her mom. Let's go on into the wow. Okay, so this movie had a lot of wow, and the first one I'm gonna talk about is the Triskelion mention. Like, that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Did they just... That's what I wanted to do in my seat, but, you know, couldn't really do that. But I loved the mention. I love when they just tie in those little subtle things. I like how it opened up with Peter doing a vlog of his antics as Spider-Man. They had a scene from Civil War, and it was the point of view from Peter when he's about to get called up by Tony. Then you hear Tony say, Underoos! And then he's like, oh guys, I gotta go. Tony's calling, Iron Man's calling me. And then he puts his phone down, and then you can see the, what's going on, and he's like, hey Captain, and then like you can see him grab the shield, and he's like, hey guys. And I was just like, this, like, I absolutely love the opening. I don't think they could have done a better job doing that. So one of my favorite things that I love about this movie is that it is very diverse. The casting, they hit it on the head, and I could not be more happy. You have Indian people, you have white people, you have black people, you have biracial people, you have Asian people of Asian descent. It was just, I loved it, and I was like, I can't get enough of this diversity. Like, why can't every movie be this diverse? Why? So the next thing that was wow. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the comedy. The comedy was amazing, and I have no complaints. Marvel never lets me down. Every time I watch a Marvel movie, I laugh out loud, because the thing about it is it had the heavy moments, it had the sad moments, it had the cringy moments you felt for that cringy teenager-y feel you get. It has it just had everything, and I love the parts where I can just laugh out loud and have a good time, and then there's an action scene, and then there's like a threatening scene from the villain. I love those things, guys. I love it. Peter's team for the decathlon, they got in danger, and so he was trying to save everyone, and everything ended up fine. They went back to their school after the decathlon. There's like these school news anchors who run a show for the school, and they were asking the teacher about what happened, and he was like, I'm glad everyone is safe. He was like, I can't lose another student. And then it like zoomed into his face, and he was like, not again. And I was just like so funny, because his eyes just like went dead. And then you're wondering like, well, what happened? Like, I kind of want to know what happened with this teacher and one of his other students. Like, are they dead? Like, what's the tea with that storyline? Like, I kind of want to know. The cameos with Cap. Seeing those Captain America cameos were the best thing. The first cameo that he had was in the gym. In the gym was during gym class, when Peter and his friends were in his gym class, and it was one of those videos where he's like, so health, working out isn't very important for the body. Good body, good mind. Like, it was just funny. And then the second one, well, I think he had like 3, but while that was happening, the gym teacher was standing next to the video, and then when the video ends, he's like, isn't this guy a war criminal? And then he was like, anyway, everybody pair up for sit up. It reminded me of in the Captain America movies, when he first started out being Captain America, and he wasn't fighting yet. He was just out there doing like promo and like helping lift people's spirits up, I guess, the shows that he was doing. So that was very funny, and I appreciated it, because of course New York, Cap is from New York, of course they'd be like showing stuff that Cap is doing. One of my favorite things about this movie, besides Peter Parker, is Zendaya's character. And also I want to mention his best friend, his name is Ned. He was super fun to watch too. He was very funny, and you could tell him and Tom Holland, they bounced off each other pretty well. But Zendaya was hilarious. Like, she plays this girl who's like, I don't care what you think of me. She's super sarcastic. She has this scene where Peter walks into the dance and he waves, and she's like, and then she just flips him the bird out of nowhere, and I'm like, what? Like, I laughed out loud so hard, because it's like, they're friends and he knows her personality, but I'm like, that was hilarious, and I wanted to rewind it, but movies can't do that while you're in the movies. Aunt May's character, I really enjoyed her. When the announcement first came out about her being Aunt May, I was like, well, Aunt May is supposed to be like, older, and this is weird, but it didn't take any getting used to at all. She's kind of like she's a quirky aunt, she's a worrywart, you can tell that she loves Peter, and she was just fun. She was really fun to watch. Marissa Tomei did a really good job with it, and I enjoyed her. There was this, and there was always jokes about like people hitting on her and stuff, but there was this scene where her and Peter went to dinner, and this guy one of the waiters comes out, and he hands them like an extra plate, and she's like, oh, I didn't order that, and he's like, I know, it's on the house. And then he just walks away, and she's like, definitely want to talk about Michael Keaton. He played the villain, and I think he did a really good job. I wasn't surprised that he did a good job, because I was expecting a lot out of him, because he's such a good actor. And I wonder if like anyone was like, hey, you came over from DC, now you're at Marvel. But I liked him as a villain. He was one of those villains who like smiled at you while he's threatening you, like, I'm gonna kill you, and you're just like, you're really gonna kill me? There's this scene where he's threatening Peter, and we find out that Peter's crush, who is Liz, is her dad. And he's turned around to Peter and he's like, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go in there, dance, you're gonna have a good time, you're gonna show my daughter a good time, you're gonna keep your mouth shut, you're not gonna say anything to her, or I'll kill you. And he has like a slight smile on his face. I always love those kinds of villains. It's like, I don't know why, but he's like has a slight smile on his face and he's like, now get out, go have a good time. And then Peter's just like Peter is shook. But I really loved that. In my opinion, Marvel has never disappointed me where I went and saw a movie and I left the theater like, eh. I always leave the theater like, yes, like that was a good movie. I enjoyed every darn near every moment of it. If you are loving what I'm doing, I would love it if you liked my video, and I'd love it even more if you subscribed. And thank you guys for just watching my video, and leave some comments down below and tell me what you guys think. I just love talking about movies and TV shows and things like that. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you next time, and I hope you guys see me. Thank you guys for watching. Kirae Dynamite out. I totally just got bag checked. I feel personally attacked, and this will be the last time here.
Really?
At this establishment. I'm telling you, I can't bring my bottle of water and my Reese's and my Dove chocolate. Are you joking? Okay, guys, I see how it is.